Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
I really think I've got fuck all else to talk about. I've been thinking about who would I love to chat to on Zoom this morning, and the only answer I can think of is George Pickering.
It's very sweet. I do like, not to break the fourth wall, that the fact you can just turn that on. Do you know what I mean? Because we join a Zoom call, you and I, and we discuss what we're going to talk about. And it turns out we haven't done anything in the last 3 weeks because we narrowed it down to my car got a flat battery and you went to the cinema. But, then there's like a pause and then you'll just kick in, And I go, cool, we've started now. Do you know what I mean? It's a different type of talking, and it's funny. It's not as casual, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, just an element.
Just giving everyone a delve into the world of podcasting. Yeah.
Yeah, we genuinely sat silent on the Zoom call for at least 90 seconds, just trying to think of something we've done in the last 2 weeks.
Because I thought, right, we've had 3 guests. So when we have guests, it almost can allow us to stack up stories, memories, moments, experiences of things we've done. And instead, we were like, I have nothing. We could talk about the Olympics, we can talk about the Olympics.
Talk about
but
other people's achievements.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a little Olympics roundup.
Okay, cool.
The athletes that we are,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's almost that
deadlift.
feeling of feel sort of bereft. We've just had the Euros straight away followed by the Olympics. There's always been something on the telly.
Yeah.
And you can almost excuse doing anything else with your life. Because it's the Olympics, isn't it? So I'll just sit down for 6 hours and watch other people run. And then you can validate doing fuck all. Well, you've been watching the Olympics. Well, it's only once every 4 years.
Yeah.
And then it finishes and then you're like, got to do something in my life now.
I know. So I've been having it on whilst doing my drum pad practice. And yesterday morning, I just turned on BBC. No more, floor exercises or pole vault or any of that stuff, break dancing. Instead, I was watching Homes Under the Hammer, then Bargain Hunt. And, both great shows. I'm not putting them down. I love Homes Under Hammer for so many reasons.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. But, it's not the Olympics. So it's a shame. I was watching the rock climbing the other day. I really enjoyed that. There was this wee boy of 19, Toby Roberts, I think it was. And he won gold for... Great Britain. I was like, that was amazing. But you could see his face. He's like, what the fuck? This is mental, And afterwards, I looked at his Instagram, and it was literally like, oh my God, if you scroll back, like, I'm going to go to the Olympics. And it's like, oh my God, I'm through to this thing. And then he wins gold. And I was like, fair play. But I thought, isn't that mad to win an Olympic gold medal at 19? Like, I feel like you're either going to go one or two ways. You might go... this is great. Let's keep it going. What shall I do next? I could be an astronaut at 20. Do you know what I mean? Or you'd be like, done it now. Do you know what I mean? Like, is that part of it?
Go get me a family-sized bag of Twixes. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was a picture of Andy Murray in donuts, and people were like, "Isn't it funny how he doesn't need to play anymore?" I thought, wouldn't it be mad if he gets really fat within the next year? He's like, I'm not playing. But anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed the Olympics of bits I watched.
Little highlights. I think these will be common highlights around the country, around the globe.
Yeah.
Turkish dad doing the shooting.
Yeah.
Legend.
Amazing. Yeah.
I mean, it's just look cool, isn't it? I'll just stand here.
So cool.
I took my glasses and some foam earplugs.
Yeah.
Hand in my pocket. What do you want? The target?
Yeah.
Done. Cheers. Next.
Yeah. Can we wrap this up? Because I've actually got to be somewhere. I swear.
I've got to take the kids.
Yeah.
To something.
Legoland. Yeah.
I take Sean Connery to Legoland. Obviously, pole vault.
Yeah.
Knocking the bar off with your willy.
Yeah.
You know,
as someone
you train
said,
all your life.
Yeah.
You train all your life. But,
yeah.
you know, I think, well, there's potentially that sometimes you don't need to win gold to be the most successful Olympian.
Exactly. He'll be the person to remember. And also, when he walks back to the Olympic Village, do you know what I mean? The guy that won gold, all anyone's thinking about is he's got a little carrot penis, you know what I mean? Little acorn down there. The guy that doesn't win wins in so many other ways, you know? Because everyone's seen that clip.
Did you win? Oh, that's a shame. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. My event was quite early on, and we get 3 weeks in that Olympic Village. I have to mention the diving as well. The diving is a fascinating one. I think people have talked about this before, but it's hard to know what it's even judged on, because you start going, okay, well, it's to do with the splash. It's how small the splash is. If they do the flips and stuff, and then it's a small splash, then it's perfect. And you'll watch it, and they'll go in, and you're like, that was brilliant. And the commentator goes, oh, well, they will be very disappointed with that one. And you're like, why? That looked amazing, you know? And then someone will come in and fucking belly flop, you know? And they're like, oh my God, yes, that's what she needed. And you're like, I don't know what's good anymore. I thought it was a small splash, you know? So anyway, it's all a bit mad. But apparently it's like they have a commentator who actually knows about diving, and then they have a BBC commentator who's just a commentator. And it's almost like they have to follow what they say. So one will be like, you know, oh, that was bad, and be like, yep, he'll be very disappointed with that, you know. But yeah, it's all a bit weird. I sort of feel bad for them. A lot of the gymnast stuff, you'll be like, that was unbelievable, and they'll be like, well, the dismount was quite poor there. She'll probably kill herself tonight over that performance. You're like, all right, ease up. This was amazing, you know. So,
or if not, anyway. The government will. In certain countries, and I think, you know, it's obviously been all over the internet, but the breakdancing, isn't it?
Yeah, my God.
I mean,
my God.
We often speak about every 4 years. We'd love to see an average person compete in the Olympics to see what the difference is.
Yeah,
and we kind of got a glimpse of that. But I'm not going to pile on her, but she'll be more well known than the gold medalist.
Oh my God, yeah.
And maybe she's trolling everyone, and just but you know. And speaking of average people, wanting to enter the Olympics, there was a YouGov poll. Obviously, they did the Olympic handover, LA 2028. Yeah. There was a poll across 25 different sports. They asked the British public whether they thought they could qualify for the 2028 Olympics if they started training today. More than 1 in 4, 27%, reckon they could become an Olympic-level athlete in at least one of these 25 sports. Unbelievable. I'm going to look at this.
It's so unbelievable.
6%, 100-metre sprint. Amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah.
5% dressage. You know.
Yeah.
Golf.
Do you think it's almost that element of, like, I've found this, if you watch, say, a stand-up comedian and they're so good and so effortless, it almost makes it look easy. You go like,
absolutely.
Oh, I could do that. I could be that funny, because they're just talking about everyday life. And, you know, I've thought those things, so I could do that. And I think it's a bit of that. You sort of, well, I can jump, you know. How hard is jumping?
I just got to jump a bit further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Easy.
Yeah.
But we've all done school sports.
18 me. Yeah. 18
when you think about how
is a long way.
far 18 metres is. We did. I watched. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was like 5,000 meters or something, right? So Neil does a lot of 5K runs, and he does pretty good time. Like I think his PB is like 1940.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so it's like under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
A kilometre. Is that right? 4 minutes.
It is, yeah. 4 minutes. Yeah.
4 minutes, right?
Oh my God.
So that's decent, right?
That's really decent.
We were watching, I think it was the 5K, and I worked out, was it 5? It was either 5 or 10. I worked out basically if Neil continued that pace, he would finish the race. It was something like 15 minutes after the Olympians. Because they just look like they're running the 400 metres, and they're just like...
Yeah.
And they're going very fast.
Yeah, it's mad. I think it must be the 10K, because I was watching it and it was like 22 minutes something, and they were getting to the end, or maybe like 25 minutes maybe. I think
that was it. Yeah, it was the 10K.
Yeah,
and I said if Neil was to do this, he'd have another 15 minutes to go.
Yeah,
if he kept up.
Neil.
4-minute kilometres.
It's funny though, when I used to do park runs, there would be people that did that, because most people do a park run in, let's say, 30 to 50 minutes, but then there'd be a few athletes that could do a 10K in just over 30 minutes. So then they run and then run back and then do it again. I'm like, all right, I get it. Like you've done it twice. Fair play, Neil. That's
anyway, Olympics is done. We move on.
Yeah. Let's talk about my car, because why not? So, full disclosure, I went to my first therapy session on Monday. We're an honest podcast, and people go to it. And it's one of those things James Acaster talked about. He said, isn't it funny how in England you sort of don't go until you're like, fuck, I need to go, Whereas like in America, you might be a bit more like, I'm just going to therapy. That's just what I do. So anyway, I had a session, and afterwards I was parked outside the person's house. It was like in her garden. She had this summer house, you do in there, whatever. And tried to start my car. Oh, car won't start, And I was like, fuck. So I texted her and I was like, is this okay to do? I was like, hey, thanks for the first session. Can you give me a jump start, And she just didn't reply. So I called the rescue people, and they were like, are you a woman? I was like, no. They were like, are you disabled? I was like, no. Got kids? No. Are you in immediate danger? I was like, look, I'm all of those things. I'm not, and I'm fine. They're like, all right, it'll be about 2 hours. I was like, oh, okay. And then I looked next to this woman's house. There was a garage. So I just walked up.
Always scope out your surroundings.
This is it, yeah. Because at first I was looking around, and I was genuinely just going to not jump into the road, but someone that drives by be like, hey, do you fancy jump starting me? But then he tried to get it started, and the battery was well dead. He got this thing out, and he was like, says it's knackered. I was like, is that what your machine says? It just pops up. He's like, I'll show you. Yeah. And he said, it needs to be 100. He said, anything under 100, your car's not going to start. He was like,
do you find that, was there an attitude, not an attitude, but an element of like, this is fucked, mate, you idiot? Did you get that?
I don't know.
I've had that.
Was like,
yeah, it's fucked,
he was
mate.
Like,
lol.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, he was like, I'm surprised it's even started. It's amazing it's even started. But anyway, because I was like, well, I have no choice but to go to this garage, because I can't just be like, I don't know you. So, but as he was like, oh, I'll go off and see if I can order one or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I Googled them. I was like, what are their reviews like? And all the reviews were mostly like great. And then there was a few like, don't go to these people. They're scam artists. And I was like, shit. But anyway, he got a new battery. And now my baby fucking roars into life. Before it was like, and it would take like, 30 seconds for the windows to wind down, because there was just no power. And now it's like, goes like the clappers. But I spent about nearly 700 quid on my car recently. It was like service 470, new tyre, new battery. I'm like, God, it's just... And I was talking to someone at a gig about it. It's kind of like drum gear. It's like, it's not even like I get anything new and cool. It's not like I've painted racing stripes on it or got like a big exhaust, no, it's just keeping it going, you know? It's like buying new sticks or new hardware. It's like, there's nothing cool. It's just, you know, I'm like, can that just be it now? It is. I'm just like, let that just be it. Come on.
And it's that disparity between, like, you think, there's other stuff I'd rather spend this money on. Cymbals, snare drums, Lego, holiday, PlayStation. These are my preferences.
Yeah.
Yet your car is so important to your life, innit? But yet it's not something you want to spend money on. I just, you know, hope you don't mind. I was just thinking about sort of breakdown jokes.
Yeah.
You know, when they're... Who said, oh, are you in danger? Who was that? Was that the AA or something?
Yeah. What to do with therapy?
Like, well, I have just come out of a therapy session, so
yeah.
I might be a little bit on edge.
Yeah, that's it. I said, hi.
Texted your therapist. I've just broken down. Can I please come back in? This is...
It's all good stuff. Yeah. Just trying to think of more. I mean, that's it. That's
we had a double breakdown, didn't you? Double breakdown.
Double breakdown. Yeah. Have you broken down? Yep. How's the car? How's the what? You know. Yeah. Anyway, so that happened. I mean, we could talk gigs, but I think it's getting to that weird bit of the season where it's just like, it's the same. Do you know what I mean? The same
Very
gigs.
samey.
I had two over the weekend, and they were fine, you know?
Yeah, I did one last Thursday with Decade. It was fine.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. I'm sure the bride and groom don't think of it like that. You know, the one thing, and I don't know, I think it's weird. I don't know about you. I don't know about anyone else, right? We turn up, we get shown where we're playing. It's kind of a separate room in a hotel. We go in, we set up, we sound check. The contract says starting at 7, so we're just changed and ready. And then all of a sudden, the wedding happens. Do you know what I mean? Like, then they come in, and at no point has anyone from the wedding come up and said hello, or checked we're here, or do we need anything, or to just confirm what's going to happen. So the first time we see the bride and groom is when they walk in to do the cake and the first dance. And I just can't help but feel, if I was having a wedding like that, I'd go and say hello to the band. Yeah. I don't know. Just feels a bit, I don't know. I mean, we're professionals. We were there. We were ready. We were, do you know what I mean? But like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
First time you see them, all right. I mean,
yeah.
For me, I just find that, because you do some weddings, you don't speak to the bride and groom at all for the whole night. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I want to, but you're just kind of a bit like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
sure.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. My one was the bride was talking to us a lot, and then the groom just didn't really. It was one of those weird ones where you don't see the groom all night, and I always see them as a bad sign, and you just see the bride dancing with every other person there is, and you're like, where's the groom been all night? Yeah. I got to tell you this story. I don't know if we can even keep this in, but we were talking about songs that people say you can't play that. Like, you know, you'll always get requests, but sometimes you'll be like, do not play. We had one last year. It's like, do not play Brown Eyed Girl. And they didn't give a reason, but they just said, we do not want you to play that song. And I was like, I wonder what the reason is.
Yeah, you know? I want to know.
I want to know. So I was talking to the bass player on this gig, Chris, and he was saying, I had one where I was playing Hey Jude with the band, and halfway through it, or like pretty soon into Hey Jude, people came up to him and went, no, stop it, stop. And he was like, why? Like, you know, do you not like the Beatles? Get this right. Apparently, the bride's sister was murdered by a psychopath, and the whole time he was killing her, he had Hey Jude on repeat. And Yeah, so that song was just like, nope, absolutely not. So then they started playing it, you know, nah, 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 and you just think, oh my God. So
I mean,
don't
I've
know if
got a
that will
dark, sick
stay
and
in the
twisted mind,
podcast.
and that went further than I thought.
Okay.
Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
How did they know he was playing that?
That's a good point. I don't know. I guess maybe he told them. I don't know the full extent. But that's mental, isn't it? Because I told him the titanium story, your one, of that woman who... Do you want to tell it?
It's just... this was Can You Play Titanium? Yeah. Maybe it's favourite song. And it was something like the mum had a brain operation and had some titanium put in her head. What? Weird reason to have a song. Yeah. But... yeah, okay.
So I told him that story, and he went, "I got one for you," and then told me that, and I was like, "Jesus, that is horrific," you know. So yeah, sometimes there are reasons that probably it's best not to know why not to play it. You know what I mean? If it's something that bad, you know, you were, I don't know, whole family was murdered to Brown Eyed Girl, you know, during the little bass drop down bit. Anyway, cut all that out. Let's talk about Pack-Brack, because I have to give a shout out to our friend Jordan Faruja. He has launched Pack-Brack now, and
is it launched?
Yep,
sweet,
and it looks like it's going swimmingly well. I mean, even on this London drum group we're on, this WhatsApp group, he posted it and was like, "Hey guys, doing this thing. We've got this Pack-Brack," and like I saw people ordered it there, and I do think it's like a no-brainer. Just like get it. As I said, it's like if you buy an iPad, get a case for it. Do you know what I mean? If you're buying a monitor pack, get a Pack-Brack for it. And yeah, I don't know if it's my place to say, but he has some exciting things coming up already with Pack-Brack. So, but I'm sure that will all be seen soon. But yeah, I think it will be brilliant. I almost want to invest. You know what I mean? Invest some money and just ride his wave.
Does he want you to? You're just trying to worm your way into other people's clever inventions.
Business, yeah. Because I mean, it's just like I think everyone's going to get one. But well done, Jordan. Because as he said, he couldn't be bothered to start the business, but then he has, and look at how well it's going already. So yeah, well done, Jordan. Anything else to discuss?
Well, I was just thinking there about obviously we're in August now, deep into sort of. Approaching the middle of August, and it's not I don't know about you, but I got a fairly quiet August gig wise. I got a bit of a gap, and then I've got quite a busy end of August, and I've got a very busy September, and then I go on holiday in October. So I've been watching as well as the Olympics.
Yep,
I've been watching a bit of TV. Finished House of Dragon.
Yep.
I don't expect you to have seen or watched any of these.
No, I don't even know what that is. I just imagine a dragon in a house.
Yeah. Yeah. But basically it.
Like
so,
Gogglebox,
you know what Game of Thrones
for dragons.
Is?
Yeah. Well, I know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, this is a prequel.
Oh, okay.
To it. Set a couple hundred years before. The Boys. Finished watching The Boys season 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Nope, never seen it.
No. Also been to the old cinema.
Oh yeah,
a couple of times. I've seen Twisters.
Okay. What's that all about then, Dill?
Just Twisters, isn't it? About tornado things.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not in America. Yeah.
And saw the old Deadpool and Wolverine, isn't it?
Yeah, I watched that as well.
You did, yeah.
I feel like it was far less entertaining for me probably than you, because I don't watch films. I'll tell you how I watched it. I didn't even tell you how I watched it.
Your first time seeing a moving picture, seeing a talkie.
Exactly. I went into the cinema like, oh, is this where I go? You know, where do I sit? Oh, anywhere? Okay. So, yeah, you know, I don't talk about my part-time job at the care home because I'm always worried it'll be a safeguarding issue. But I had to take a young person to go and see the film. And then he decided he didn't want to. And I went, okay, I guess I'm not going to go. But then there was another young person who appeared and he was like, oh, my God, can I go and see it? And I was like, yeah, cool. So we went and watched it. And, yeah, there's a lot that I didn't get. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot that I was... Well, not even didn't get. It was probably those things so much that I just missed because I don't understand. I've never seen... I don't think I've seen a Marvel film before. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of... technically like the nearly 40 films into the Marvel Cinematic Universe with what happens in Deadpool Wolverine. Spoiler alert, there's cameos from people which ties in a heck of a lot of other Marvel based films. So now you're talking canonically, technically you're looking at that's basically film number 66.
Yeah.
In a series, there's quite a lot you've missed out on, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I like the dancing.
I can just imagine you being like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Well, that's Wolverine. That's pretty obvious, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember watching a bit of a Wolverine film once and being like, wow, he's got like three knives through his hands or something. And then that was all I remember. So I'm aware of Wolverine, but no. And when it started, the film, I don't want to do spoilers, but fuck it. If you haven't seen it, you're not a big enough fan to go and see it. So I'm just going to say it. And he sees dead Wolverine. I thought the whole plot of the film was going to be like he has to get him back to life or something, and then he reincarnates Wolverine, and then they do a thing together. But then it just wasn't, and then there was just different Wolverines, and I was like, what? There's more than a few? I did like the bit where they were talking about the multi-universe thing, just saying like, this is awful. We're all aware that the multi-universe is not a good thing, and I was thinking about Rick and Morty, and that's their whole bit, you know, and I was like, can get a bit boring, but yeah, it was fine. I don't know. I wish I liked films more, but I just get bored and distracted, and then just I don't know. Just
what did you say? You don't really have a telly, do you?
Watch Peep Show again. Yeah, well, maybe I need a bigger telly. Maybe that's the problem. Do you know what I mean? When you've got a 32-incher, it's a bit like, oh, you can't get immersed in Ryan Reynolds.
Big telly for the noughties.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? 32-inch, that was a big TV back in when the flat screens first coming out.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And now
it looks a bit povo.
My friend's got a 70-inch TV on the wall. It's too big.
Way too big for his flat.
I think it could give you a sunburn if you...
Yeah. Isn't there like the distance thing? It's like if your telly's 50 inches, you have to be this far away. If it's like 70, you have to be this far back. So it's like... I mean, 32 is probably all right because I'm about a metre away from it. But, yeah. Do you feel like this podcast...
I think it's just proportion of your room, mate. Proportion of your room.
Yeah.
You know, I got a 43-inch telly. It's perfect for this size of the room. Would I like a bigger one? Sure. But for the proportions of the room I'm in, perfect.
That's what I mean, yeah. Yeah, exactly. My telly is... The vibe is almost like when you go around a mate's house and they're into like... I don't know, the parents are into hiking and shit like that, and the telly's almost like an afterthought. I feel like that's how my telly is, do you know what I mean?
I'm
like,
picturing Travelodge.
Yeah. What, as in how I live? Or
a bit of both, but mainly the telly size.
I mean, you can see my flat. I've got plants and shit, do you know what I mean? There's no
I've got fuck vibe. All.
I know you.
Look how bland that background is.
That's very bland. For the listeners, he has shelves that used to have a lot of stuff on it, you know. But
grey
now
walls,
it doesn't.
White shelves, grey lamp, grey vest.
Yeah, grey life.
I've been packing up my house.
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to say too much about that because I don't want to jinx it.
He's living on the streets now, Ben. It hasn't worked out well.
Hasn't worked out.
Anything else?
You got anything else to talk about?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're still listening, thanks.
A couple of bits of drumming.
Oh, yeah, let's do that because it is a drum podcast.
So Archie Mack, his new EP, which I've drummed on and that Neil has produced and mixed, has been finished.
Nice.
It's not out yet.
That's a shame.
Played on a lot of his other stuff. This EP is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I will let you know when that's out. But that was all done. I did the master last week.
Nice.
Some cool songs on there. One of my favourites called The Weakest Link. And it's all like game show references. And I put a sweet drum fill in there. So get ready for that.
I'm ready
because that's what will make it successful. But then there's some stuff I've done which has actually just come out. Norm Archer. I've played on his other stuff. We did some more recording a while ago. Did like an EP's worth. There's a couple of singles out now. I brought them up on my Spotify. A couple of songs. See Still There and Million. So they're out on Spotify. We'll put the old link. Some drum. I just played drums on him. He's taken everything away and mixed and recorded everything else at home. Great guy. Yeah. Great vibe of music. So go and check that out. Which I did think. I don't know if we've ever said this before, but like doing like a drum and drummer playlist.
Yeah, I like that idea. I'd like that idea.
Not just stuff we've done, but stuff that like our guests have done as well. And listeners, let us know if you've got songs that you've played on your bands.
Yeah,
we could put a playlist together, drum and drummer community playlist.
Because we are creating a community, whether we like it or not. You know, we've wanted it to just be us two, and everyone else. No, get out of our yard. You know, but they keep coming in. Do you know what I mean? So let's just embrace it. You know what I mean? Let's embrace the community.
So maybe that's something we should do.
I think it is definitely something we should do.
And then we could just all go, look, hey, we're playing drums. Here's some stuff we've done.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah. Other than that, I really think I've got fuck all else to talk about. I did get called out by my mum the other day. So I hung out with my brother and his kids were down for the weekend. And she made the flippant comment about every week you seem to be buying a new bloody cymbal.
Yeah.
Yeah. A job, innit? So
yeah.
Can excuse that. And it's tax deductible.
I
was like, good, you're still listening.
Yeah. Even if it's negative, thanks for listening. I've got 2 new purchases I'm going to get. New cymbal case and a new stick bag because I want to streamline even more. So my cymbal case is big, hefty, and it's on wheels and stuff. And I'm like, I don't actually need the wheels. I never really use it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because now I've got cymbals that I don't use, I want to have one for storage and one for gigs, you know? And then also the stick bag. Even that, I'm like, let's just refine that. Let's get a stick bag that holds 3 pairs of sticks, and that is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you did send me a picture of one stick bag. Is this the one you've got?
No, I'm going to get... Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
You're getting a different one?
No, yeah, I'm going to get a protection racket one because I know someone that has a deal with protection racket. So, you know, that's all I'll say. But that's probably too much already. That means I won't get my stuff now. Just refining it. Just keep refining it. I'm going to see if I can get the kit any smaller. Maybe if they do like a light stool, that'll be the next thing to get. Because when I put all my light hardware in the hardware bag, I then put my big old stool in there. And it's like, fuck, this isn't light anymore. Do you know what I mean? So if I can get an aluminium drum stool, or just wing it. Just turn up to every gig and be like, has anyone got a chair? Do you know what I mean?
No, don't do that.
Yeah. So,
the stool is one of those things you really should get a good stool. Like, have a good stool.
Yeah, it's true. But if they did a whatever I've got, but a lighter legs situation.
My guess would be that the I don't know, needs to support quite a lot of weight.
Maybe they should do it on a ratio, though.
Maybe not in your case, but in my case.
Well, this is it, because I'm never really over 75 kg, so it's like...
All right. Shut off. Are you one of these people who reckon they could do the 100-metre sprint in the Olympics?
I don't reckon I could do that, but I reckon I could definitely do breakdancing after a few lessons, you know what I mean?
After a few Guinni.
After a few Guinni. Oh, let's end with that. I met up with Elliott the other night, and that was fun. Elliott is not suited to the town of Emsworth. So that's where my parents live. I was back home after a gig, and I stayed on the Sunday, and I said, do you want to meet up? Because that's where he lives. So imagine Emsworth, quiet, sleepy, seaside sort of town, fishing village. Fishing, not fisting. Fishing village. And we're just... I'm walking down the road, and I'm texting, and I just hear this booming voice. I'm like, oh, there he is. There's Elliott. And then and we were excited to see each other, you know. So he's talking loudly and I'm talking loudly. I can't remember what he was saying, and I know he listens to this podcast. This isn't me embarrassing him. This is me singing his praises. But he was just shouting something like, here we go. 2 men in their sexual prime off out on a night out, you know. And I was like, you have to stop shouting sexual prime. Like, it's Emsworth. No one's about, but I'm sure people live around here. You're like, 2 men off on their sexual adventure. I was like, stop saying sex. And then you just, I don't know. He's you know, he's larger than life, Elliott. That's what we love about him. I think when you go to a town where it's just, I don't know, you go into the pub and it's just all old men just sat there, and then he rocks in. I mean, we've all seen the pictures on Instagram. If no one's seen how this man looks, look up Elliott Joseph music and look up his recent Italy, you know, adventure. And he just rocks up in the Coal Exchange, this quiet little pub, and I get 4 pints of Guinness, please. You know, I'm like, 4? That's insane, Elliott. He's like, well, then we don't have to walk back to the bar, you know. And then when it was my round, I had to get 4 pints just to match him, you know. I was fucking pissed. And he was sort of okay. I went back to his and had some more beer, and, you know, I was like, what time do you have to be up? He's like, 6. I was like, well, it's 12:30. Shall I go? Because this is mental. And you actually have a normal job, a real job. You got to make shit out of wood or whatever, you know. But yeah, great man, Elliott, great friend, and too large for Emsworth.
2 men in their sexual prime. Much like this podcast.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram. Get in touch. Submit some songs for our playlist that we're gonna create.
Yes.
Featuring us, guests, and listeners alike. Let us know. Will you be competing in the LA 2028 Olympics?
It's a good question to ask. I ask people, what sport would you do if you were to do one? You know what I mean? It is a good question. So, let us know.
Yeah, we were talking about the gig. What would you want to do, and what do you think you could do based on your physique? Oxen archery, quite tall guys. Swimming was one that they thought maybe that's what they could do in terms of, you know, me. Probably discus. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember, just pick up the sticks and twat it.